class. Welcome to my presentation on the Jim Woodruff Lock and Dam in Apalachicola, Florida. The reason I chose this lock and dam is because I'm interested in the management of Florida waterways. I would like to learn the impacts dams have on the species of fish that live in the Apalachicola River. And lastly, I am interested in learning about which species of fish are most impacted by the Jim Woodruff Lock and Dam and how they can be helped. So looking at the map of Florida, the Jim Woodruff Lock and Dam is located at the Florida-Georgia border in the panhandle of Florida. The dam was built in 1952 with completion in 1957. It is located at the confluence of the Chattahoochee and Flint rivers. The dam created a reservoir called Lake Seminole. The area that the lake is in now used to be a Creek Seminole Native American reservation. It was turned over to wildlife management and turned into the reservoir that we call Lake Seminole. And like I said before, is located at the juncture of the Florida and Georgia state line. The lake and its facilities, like much of the dams in Florida, are maintained by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and is used for navigation, hydroelectric production, and recreation. The Apalachicola River flows undisturbed below the dam for over 100 miles, and it drains into the Gulf of Mexico. Here are some of the fish that are impacted by the dam: the Gulf sturgeon and the Alabama shad. And I chose these two because this is where I found the most research, and there's a big contrast in the size of the Gulf sturgeon getting 7 to 14 feet and the Alabama shad only 12 to 18 inches. First, I'll talk about the Alabama shad. Its habitat is the northern Gulf of Mexico and Gulf Coast river systems. It migrates to fresh water to spawn. The historic range includes Mississippi River drainages to the Suwannee River and Florida. The Alabama shad was once very abundant in the Gulf Coast, and now they are rare in their range. Their population has been impacted by the construction of dams, and they are a species of concern. I wanted to take a look at the passage of Alabama shad through the Jim Woodruff Lock and Dam. And the research had a lot of holes in it. One study showed that 59% of the Alabama shad spawning were successful at navigating the lock and dam and was considered successful. However, there are many variables of the operational time of the lock, and it accounts for a lot of inconsistent evidence of the shad passing through the lock. Next, the Gulf sturgeon. The Gulf sturgeon was once abundant in coastal rivers of the eastern Gulf of Mexico. It was commercially fished. Much of its decline is due to overexploitation and habitat loss. And again, there's not enough research to accurately assess the status of Gulf sturgeon. At one point in the 80s, the fishery was closed, and it has been slowly recovering, but has not recovered yet. There's a lot of threats to the sturgeon. There's oil spills, deep water weather, and algal blooms that affect the population. And additionally, dams modify the habitats by altering river flows and impede access to historic spawning habitats that go further up past the Jim Woodruff Lock and Dam. About 78% of the historic habitat has been blocked by the dam. What I learned about the Jim Woodruff Locking Dam is that it's modified the habitat of fish that migrate up the Apalachicola River and to the Chattahoochee and Flint rivers. They have difficulty navigating through the lock and getting upstream to spawn, and that there's not a lot of research to help accurately assess how the shad and sturgeon are rebuilding their populations.